What's good? What's good? I'm back. Yours truly, the one and only Paul Pickett. This is the Paul Pickett Podcast. If you're watching on YouTube, as you can see, I just updated my banner at the top of my YouTube page. So we got that popping. This is episode, what are we at? 103. Episode 103. Just got the press release done up. About to push that out there for episode 100. Don't forget this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, and your service, please check out Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. This podcast is also sponsored by New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. If you're a dog lover like me, if you're a cat lover like me, you're an animal lover like me, or an animal rights activist unlike me, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We got t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts with dogs and cats. We also got some t-shirts that are business-related themes, and we got some new political-related themes coming soon, all under the New Litter Apparel umbrella. Also for Shizzle, I got to shout out DizzleBrand.com. Dizzle Brand, just add ice, Dizzle on ice. Check them out. Step into the future. Do your Dizzle, DizzleBrand.com. All right, let me see. Pull up this website here. Let's go over last night's scores. All right, we got the NBA scores pulled up. A lot of games last night. The Sixers beat the Magic, and of course, Joel beat up. I had a lot of scoring these ones because a lot of high scoring people last night. Let's see. Even Mo Bamba put up 32 for Magic. That's crazy. That's probably honest with you. 12 rebounds, 50 points, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks on only 2 turnovers, man. Plus 24. I mean, Joel Embiid is definitely looking like he could win MVP this year. Like, it's probably between him and Steph Curry right now, and Jokic. And if Embiid stays where he's at, he definitely deserves to win the MVP. And they probably should let somebody else. I mean, Curry got back-to-back. Yeah, Curry could win another one this year, but Curry's he's fizzled out last few games. Brooklyn beat Washington. Atlanta beat Minnesota. And Trae Young scored 20-something points in the third quarter. My Charlotte Hornets beat the Boston Celtics. I mean, the Celtics, that's the thing. The Celtics have 2 legit all-stars on their squad, and we might have 1. And, I mean, we pretty much handled them. Portland lost to Miami. Portland, it's time to rebuild. Miami's getting healthy right now. They're going to be dangerous. Chicago lost to Cleveland. Chicago beat Cleveland, and they needed that win because they've been on a 3 or 4 game skid. Milwaukee beat Memphis. Dallas beat Toronto. I think Luka put up, 41? Season high 41. Okay, what else we got? The San Antonio Spurs beat the OKC Thunder. Houston beat the Jazz. Jazz done lost back-to-back to 2 teams they shouldn't have lost to, man. Houston. Let me see something, man. Let me see who played for Utah. I want to see, was Donovan Mitchell out or... Donovan Mitchell was out. That's the only excuse you can really give to losing to Houston. But even then, they still should be losing to no Houston. They really should. Okay, Denver beat the Clippers. Detroit beat the Kings. And Lakers lost to the Pacers. Oh, man, Lakers Nation. Lakers ain't winning squat this year, man. I hate to say it. They ain't winning squat. Let me go over Paul's power picks real quick. Let me go over the standings. I'm gonna pull up. We're gonna screen share my screen image. I got my all-star picks as well. Most power picks. Number 1, Phoenix Suns. Or can I say top billing? I mean, legit center, legit 2 guard. Devin Booker's been balling out. Chris Paul being the general he is, doing Chris Paul-like things. Number 2, Golden State Warriors. I mean, they've been consistent all year long. They got back. They probably going to get Wiseman back. It's crazy. And they even got young dudes like Moody and Kuminga. And, Wiggins is kind of panned off a little bit since Clay's come back. But, you kind of figure Clay would get a lot more shots. Number 3, Chicago Bulls right now. I mean, still, like, they're number 1 in the East. Nobody thought Chicago Bulls was going to get number 1 in the East this year. All these people out here was like, DeRozan and Zach LaVine, how is it going to work? I mean, they didn't realize that DeRozan was going to be extra motivated getting out of San Antonio. San Antonio was just really a down time for him. He got traded to San Antonio from Toronto. That already kind of had him down a little bit, even though he embraced his role at San Antonio. I mean, you got to look what he did towards the end of San Antonio. He pretty much had him playing point forward. So, number 4, Miami Heat. Going to Miami Heat. And even though Brooklyn Nets are number 3, Kevin Durant is hurt, I'm going with number 5, Milwaukee Bucks. So that's my top 5. Phoenix, Golden State, Chicago, Miami, and the Milwaukee Bucks for Paul's Power Picks. All right, so let's see if we can we're going to share the screen. If we can. Alright, so and for some reason it's not working. Let's see. Alright. And it's not really pulling up. Alright, well, anyways, I can't get it pulled up, but I'm gonna go ahead and go over my all-star picks. And basically, I'm using Mozilla Firefox. I was doing Google Chrome for my StreamYard, and the videos, I was trying to play videos during my podcast, and it kept lagging. So I had to get on there with StreamYard, and they said I had to switch over to Firefox. So I got to figure out how to screen share with Firefox now with this image. But let me go over my all-star voting for the East. My guards are Trae Young and DeMar DeRozan. That's my guards. Trae Young balling out, DeRozan balling out. My forwards are Kevin Durant, which you might not play the All-Star because he might be out. I mean, he's probably going to be out now. I think he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. Giannis Antetokounmpo. Yes, Big Perk can't say that name right, but I can. Giannis Antetokounmpo. And Joel Embiid. So that's my starting 5 for the East. Trae Young, DeRozan, Durant, Giannis Antetokounmpo, and Joel Embiid. And I can tell you what, that is a lethal starting 5. Really lethal. So let's get on to my West. This was a little tricky for me. I kind of went with 2 point guards for my backcourt, even though I don't really consider Steph Curry a point guard. He's more of a shoot guard to me. But my backcourt is Steph Curry and Ja Morant. Ja Morant is clearly the second best guard in the West to me right now, the way he's balling. And this is a little tricky too, the front court. But I got Jokic, LeBron, and Karl Anthony Towns. And I'm not a really big Karl Anthony Towns fan, but he is balling out this year. His team is a little better. I think they got a bright future ahead of them with him and him and yeah, I can't why Anthony Edwards. His name always just like go like I just always be forgetting his name. But Anthony Edwards, Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards. Maybe they can move on for D'Angelo Russell, but I don't know if they will because D'Angelo Russell is Karl Anthony Towns' friend. But that's my starting five for the West: Ja Morant, Curry, Jokic, LeBron, and Karl Anthony Towns. All right, so let me get into a couple topics. One topic. So a couple of these topics a few days old and whatnot, but I had to take a little break off from the podcast. I mean, I just did 100 episodes in 365 days. But Gettr gets 1 million signups after Joe Rogan signs up and basically telling him to sign up. Which is crazy about this, though, is that now Joe Rogan's calling them out as frauds and whatnot. But it just goes to show you the power of Joe Rogan, or the power of people with big voices and powerful voices. Like, I'm pretty sure Elon Musk could do this, and there's a lot of other people, not a ton of other people. There's a lot of other people, though, that could, LeBron could probably do this. And there's some people that could just say, hey, sign up here, and a ton of people will go sign up here. But the fact that Joe Rogan just had 1 million people sign up on Gettr because of him, and they literally went to the number one downloaded app. But, like, Gettr, Joe Rogan, this is the thing. Joe Rogan called him out because he found out Gettr has Chinese investors behind him. And I think, like Trump had a little bit of valid, motivation of like why he went after TikTok. I mean, China is our number one. If we want to say competition or enemy, they're number one for both. They are. Like, China doesn't like us. Definitely doesn't like us. I'm pretty sure China is waiting for the right time to just make their move. China's playing chess, and USA is playing checkers right now. Trust me, China's playing chess, USA is playing checkers. So I understand people's worry about China. Like I told them, I'm not so much worried about Russia. They said, well, we should be because Russia is bold. They're bold enough to make a move. But I don't know that they are. Because in World War II, they didn't really make their move until Germany invaded Poland, and they realized Poland, they could invade the other side of Poland because they were weak at the time. So they wasn't really that bold. Germany was the one that was bold. Russia was just, they just seen an opportunity to seem bold, but I don't know. I don't know Russia has enough money and enough power to really come at us. But it's crazy that Joe Rogan signs up together, 1 million people sign up, and now he's like they're a fraud because he comes to find out that they got Chinese investors and whatnot, just like TikTok and some of these other apps. So as far as Joe Rogan goes, they're really no different. They're really no different. And then we'll have to see if they really stick to their guns on not doing censorship, not censoring voices, because all this censorship going on social media, it's always the people, the voices on the right, conservative voices, or far left, far right radical voices, or just the right voices, the conservative voices that are being suppressed off of social media. It's not none of the ones on the left. Because most of these social media platforms like Twitter and Facebook and Google, their political views align with the far left or the liberals or whatever. But it's crazy, how much power one person has. I see this thing. Okay, Kevin McCarthy says he will consider barring lawmakers from trading stocks if Republicans win in 2022. They should bar them anyways. We know that. We know that politicians have insider trading info. You're not going to sit here and tell me that politicians don't have access to insider trading info when they do. You're not going to sit here and tell me that Nancy Pelosi is such a great stock picker just because she knows stocks and she's a great stock picker. No, she has insider trading info. That is fact. That is fact. That Nancy Pelosi has insider trading info. Nobody wins that much in stocks. Nobody wins that much. Nobody wins all the time. Come on, man. She's not Gordon Gekko, man. She is not Gordon Gekko. She has insider trading info. Actually, she might be Gordon Gekko because she does have the insider trading info. Hold on, let me rephrase that. Hold on, let me go back. She's Gordon Gekko. She's got insider trading info. She's got some Charlie Sheen out there getting all the dirt. Like, let's stop and act like she's just such a great stock picker. No, nobody's that great of a stock picker. They just got insider trading info. Yes, politicians should not be allowed to trade stocks while they're politicians. They want to trade stocks, then don't be politicians. Your job is to work for the people. Not use your position of power, your political office to get information, to get rich, like a lot of these politicians do. That's not in your job description. But y'all keep voting in these politicians that clearly don't do anything in their job descriptions. And don't blame me because I don't vote. I voted for one person in my entire life, and that was Barack Obama. And if you want to blame me for voting for him, go right ahead because trust me, I got swindled out of my vote. I got totally swindled out of my vote. All right, let me get into a couple music-related topics. Then we'll get back into some political-related topics. I had to talk about this one. I got to talk about Drake and the hot sauce in the condom. I mean, this got to be true, right? I mean, Drake hasn't come out and denied it. He hasn't actually come out and denied it. This has got to be true. But it's crazy. Like that's why people say that they just want the money and not the fame. This is exactly why people say they want the money, not the fame. The fact that women would have sex with somebody who's famous and wait till them to throw the condom away and try to pour the condom into their vaginas is so pathetic. It's so pathetic of a human. I mean, and there has to be some law. They need to start, lawmakers need to start putting laws against these women that are trying to trap these guys. We clearly, a man already has no say-so of a kid's born, but damn, he's got to have, if now you're taking away the say-so, if his sperm goes in a woman or not, oh no, we got all hell gonna break loose. World War 3, 4, 5 on this shit. Hell to the no. It's such a shame that Drake or anybody would have to do this. It's so pathetic. It's such a shame. It's so miserable a way of thinking from these women. They're just so pathetic. Any woman that does that is just put all these bitches in front of a firing squad and get them out off of the earth. As far as I'm concerned, because that shit right there is just so fucking crazy to me. That you will wait till a man throws a condom in a trash can and go try to impregnate yourself with that shit. That is dudes would probably kill a bitch over some shit like that. So, go ahead and put them in front of the fire squad and get it over with, as far as I'm concerned. Because those women just should not be walking the face of this earth whatsoever. Lock them up, throw away the key forever. Any kind of woman that would do some shit like that should not be walking the fucking face of this earth. throw them in prison or throw them in front of a firing squad, as far as I'm concerned. Because that is some crazy motherfucking shit. I can only imagine if I had to damn pour hot sauce in a condom just so women went and pour my semen in them to trap me up to get impregnated so they could hit me up for child support for a kid that I don't even want to have. It's not that I don't even have the kids. Now, let me phrase this. Not that I don't want to have the kids. Like, for a woman I don't want to have a kid with. Like, if I wanted to knock a woman up, have a kid with her, trust me, I'm not strapping on. I'm going in, fully loaded and shooting every single bullet in there. Even if there's blanks in there, if there's some blanks in there, I'm shooting the blanks and all. But it's crazy, man, that anybody would have to do this. And the fact that we wouldn't even know about this if she wasn't even trying to sue him. Because her dumb ass goes to get the condom and thinks she's going to pour little Drake Juniors in her. But instead of pouring little Drakes in her, she pours Texas Pete. She pours Pete in her. Little Pete's. Little Texas Pete Juniors. Opposed to Drake Juniors. So, like, first of all, she gets what she deserves. If her damn vagina melted off, I would laugh right now. I would have freaking died laughing because she would have got what she deserved. I mean, any bitch that does this is dumber than a fucking bag of bricks. You're dumber than a fucking bag of bricks. Your mom must have dropped you on your head a million times as a fucking kid. Because why would you even think of this shit? Why would you even think of this shit? It's just so crazy, man. And if they actually let this shit even go further, like the lawsuit go forth in court, then this country is fucked. This country is fucked, man. It's screwed. It's truly screwed and fucked. I mean, it's the craziest shit I ever heard, man. It's funny and it's crazy at the same time. I mean, this chick actually thinks she could go take a condom out of a trash can, pour little Drake Juniors in her, and instead she pours little Texas Pete Juniors in her. Oh, man. I mean, and you know what's crazy? A lot of guys are going to be doing this shit. This is going to be a new thing now. This is going to be a new thing now. Is this why Hillary Clinton says she keeps a bottle of Texas Pete on her at all times? She keeps a bottle of hot sauce on her? I don't know. So she could pour Texas Pete on the condoms of all the guys she cheats with on Bill. I mean, because it ain't for chicken. I can tell you that much. And the fact that she even said that dumb shit, I mean, that was one of the most racist comments I ever heard, man. Like, she just thought it was going to be the coolest thing to tell Charlamagne, Angela Yee, and DJ Envy, African Americans, that she carries a bottle of Texas. Black people don't even carry a bottle of Texas Pete with them at all times, man. I don't know no black women that carry Texas Pete in their damn purse. Like, stop it, man. That's crazy, man. But Drake, man, it's got to be true, right? I mean, he ain't said nothing about it. I see this other thing. Jay-Z and Meek Mill's teaming up to make sure rap lyrics are not used in court. All right, well, this is the thing, Drake and Jay-Z. Man, Jay-Z, I look up to Jay-Z, man. Jay-Z is like the God MC. But now I'm looking down on Jay-Z right now. I'm literally looking down on Jay-Z right now, Meek Mills, because are they that dumb? Are they that dumb? Do they not have enough common sense to know that there's been rappers that have literally rapped about actual real crimes that they've done in their music? Now, so you mean to tell me a person who actually is on tape? I mean, there's rappers that literally said in a song they killed somebody. And who they described killing somebody. And they only found out that they were the person that killed the person because they described the murder to the T in their music. Now, if you're going to snitch on yourself in your music, you're going to rap about an actual real crime you committed in details, Hell yeah, that should be used against you. You're dumber than a bag of bricks. And Jay-Z and Meek Mills are, I don't get their motive behind this, because they can't have they couldn't apply any common sense to this. Did they totally just take all the common sense they have in their brains and just throw it away on this topic? Because, okay, yeah, you got some rappers that are, we know a bunch of rappers are BSing. They're faking the funk. They're faking the funk. We know that. We know that a lot of these rappers are rapping about stuff that they've never done. But some of these motherfuckers are. And some of these dudes are rapping about the crime exactly how it happened. You know what they call that in court? Evidence. Hard evidence. When you clearly on audio saying you did the crime. It's no different than if you're on a phone telling somebody you did the crime. Or if you're recording, if you recorded yourself on just a tape recorder saying you did the crime, it'd be no different than you rapping saying the crime. So I'm looking down on Jay-Z and Meek Mills right now on this one, because they definitely didn't apply no common sense to this whatsoever. Because then they would know that there is some rappers out there that are literally telling the crimes that they've done, the exact details and everything. But yeah, there's a bunch of them that are just, it's all bullshit. It's all make-believe, fairy tales. We know that. Yes, we shouldn't be using the make-believe fairy tale rappers' lyrics in court, because it's make-believe, it's fairy tales. But the 100% real gangster rappers that are clearly criminating themselves is a different story. There's been rappers clearly that said they've killed somebody and described the whole situation. So, nah, man, stop it. Stop it, man. Y'all, this ain't gonna work. It's even Charlemagne and Envy said, hold up now, like, which is where I heard this on Breakfast Club. They even said, come on, man, rappers have been criminating themselves and snitching on themselves for years. If you're going to snitch on yourselves, then yes, it could be used for evidence, and yes, it should be used for evidence. I mean, come on, Jay-Z. I thought you were smarter than that, man. I thought Hov was... You're not looking like the God MC right now. I just don't get his whole motive behind this, because he obviously didn't think it through. He didn't apply no common sense to it. And Meek Mills probably ain't got common sense anyways. It's probably Meek Mill. He's probably doing this because they use Meek Mill's lyrics against him or something. That's probably what it is. And and if I'm not mistaken, Rock Nation probably manages Meek Mills. So that's probably what's going on. All right, so I'm talking about this next thing: the Biden voting rights and students arrested for hunger strike over voting rights. I gotta sip my Coke first. Once again, fairy tales. How is it that voting rights are suppressing voters of color and voters in general? How is that when there was a record number of votes and colored voters just this past election? That doesn't sound like suppression to me. If you're breaking records, that doesn't sound like suppressing voters to me. It's fairy tales, it's make-believe, it's imaginary. Let me tell you what it is. A lot of people just don't want to vote. There's people that's been like me their whole life that I've only voted for one person, that was Barack Obama. And I'm not even going to tell you why I voted for Barack Obama, because I got swindled out of my vote. I didn't vote for Barack Obama to do anything for me as a white man. But he sure as hell didn't do anything for black people as well. And if a black president doesn't do one major thing for black people, and I don't want to hear, well, he has to try to get things passed through. He's got to do something. Because if he can't do nothing, then who the fuck can? And who the fuck will? You know? I mean, I'm asking myself, who the fuck can and will if we have a black president, and he doesn't even get shit done. I mean, he had, in all due respect, Barack Obama had a crazy. I mean, my mom voted for the first time in her life. She voted for Barack Obama. I voted for the first time. You know what I mean? White people voted for their first time in their life, and they voted for Barack Obama. So, yeah, and just to go, and that's the thing. The Barack Obama's first term, like, the country was definitely not racially divided. His second term, the division started to happen. The division started to happen because once I just told you two white people who literally went and voted for the first time in their life, and they voted for Barack Obama, me and my mom. You think there wasn't thousands and thousands of others? Yes, of course there was. So this voting rights thing, it's all fairy tales. It's a myth. It's bogus. What they're trying to do is they're trying to change this little filibuster thing up so they can change the voting rights to where everything they try to get passed through gets passed through. That's not how politics works. That's not how politics works. Because anybody who knows anything about history, even Abraham Lincoln had to buy votes to end slavery. He had to buy and bribe for votes to end slavery. Because this idea that slavery was just going to pass through on a win-win vote was bogus. And first of all, what a lot of people on the left forget about, a lot of people on the Democratic side forget about, is that the Confederate states were Democrats. They were Democratic. That's what y'all forget. The Union was Republican. The ones that freed the slaves were the Republicans. The ones that tried to keep slavery intact was the Democrats. But y'all sit here and act like they're the party. They're the party for racial equality. It's horseshit. It's bullshit. It's bogus. It's fairy tales. It's make-believe. Just like the voting rights is make-believe. Biden is just trying to get the filibuster changed up and switch it up so everything that Democrats try to pass through always passes through. So they can have a one-party democratic system and nobody can vote against nothing. Well, guess what? That's not how democracies work. That's not how voting works. People have the right to vote against something. So it's all make-believe. It's all fairy tales. It's all about trying to have a one-party system, change the filibuster so everything that they try to pass through goes through. And y'all are forgetting our history that the Confederates were Democrats and the Republicans were the Union. They were the ones that freed the slaves. And they literally had to bribe people and buy votes with jobs and all other forms of promises to get people votes to pass to end slavery. So why don't Biden just do that? Why don't Biden just go to Lincoln way and just start bribing and buying votes? Lincoln did it, and yes, it's supposed to be illegal, but is anybody complaining about Lincoln bribing and buying votes to end slavery? I don't think so. Because if he didn't buy and bribe the votes, it wouldn't have ended. Not right then. It would have might have ended years and years later, but it would have ended then. And who's to say if it would ever end it? Who's to say? If Confederate states would even came back into the United States, but they had to bribe and buy votes. And this idea that the Democrats are the party for racial injustice, inequality is horseshit. They're the ones that were trying to keep slavery intact in the first place. You know, it's just so bogus. It really is. All right, so for the first time, I'm going to try to do a react to some videos. We got some videos I want to hear. We're going to start with this one.
Once we get our federal, state, and local governments working together, Once there's universal masks,
I just want y'all to remember this
enough
guy.
PPE and testing to
Remember
go
what
around,
this guy said.
science-backed guidance to help us make the right decisions. Then we can get our kids back to school safely, our businesses growing, and our economy running again without wasting another minute. As I said last night, I'm not going to shut down the economy. I'm not going to shut down the country. I'm going to shut down the virus. The vaccine must be free and freely available to everyone.
Okay, you heard that. Why would anybody even make a promise like that? You literally like set yourself up for failure because you made a promise like that in the first place, which is really bogus. It really is. I mean, like the vaccine can't even shut down the virus. Y'all do know that, right? The vaccine can't even shut down the virus. And this guy talking about he's going to shut down the virus. Like, he set himself up for failure. That's the problem with politicians right there. They make empty promises. They're empty. They're just politicians. They're just like a politician in an empty suit making empty promises. That is the biggest problem right there. But I'm not going to stay on it too much. I just want y'all to remember that this guy said he's going to shut down the virus. Apparently, somebody forgot to tell him that the vaccine can't even shut down the virus. That vaccinated people are spreading it just as much as the unvaccinated, and I would argue more because most people that have been vaccinated have had COVID. I haven't had COVID, and I'm unvaccinated. So I'm not spreading it to nobody. I haven't been sick in 3 years. Three years. So I'm not putting nobody at risk. And last but not least, I want to play this video, react to this, and let y'all know my opinion on this. It's Joe Rogan.
Sometimes because they want to hear that you've done enough. You're amazing. You're a winner. You're a perfect person. You don't need to work harder. People need to accept you, and we need the government to step in and fill in all the holes, fill in all the blanks. And this income inequality idea, like there's an income inequality problem in this country. Well, guess what else there is? There's a fucking effort inequality problem in this country.
Boom! Booyah! He's exactly right. He's exactly right. And I'm going to tell you why. I live in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I have not seen nobody in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I haven't really seen nobody in North Carolina that does exactly what I do. Now, I'm a music promoter. I do music marketing. And when you see most companies, they're one-dimensional. Yeah, you have some companies in North Carolina that might do radio promotion or blog promotion. They might do one thing. They might just do radio marketing, or they might just do blog marketing, or they might just do playlist pitching, or they might just do YouTube advertising or Facebook advertising. They might do one thing. They might do Instagram influencer marketing. They might do TikTok influencer marketing, but what they don't do is all of it at once. I don't know nobody in Fayetteville, North Carolina that can do what I do. And not only do I know anybody can do what I do, I haven't seen a single person attempt to do what I do. I don't know another person that I could go over to their house right now in Fayetteville and they got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 desktops and a bunch of other devices, cell phones and tablets, at least 20 cell phones and tablets, all doing things, all doing tasks. I don't know nobody else that has that. I don't know nobody else that's doing music promotion, podcasting, having apparel, and head of promotions for a liquor company all at once. I don't know nobody else in favor that does that. You know why? Because nobody's put forth the effort to do what I do. Nobody else in favor has put through the exact effort to do what I do. And mind you, I did not even graduate high school. I don't even have a diploma. I am self-made. I evolved into this. I've been doing this since MySpace. So I've been around to watch Twitter blow up, Facebook blow up, Instagram blow up, Snapchat, Pinterest, TikTok, whatever platform it is that's come out and blown up since MySpace. I've been through it all. I've watched it all. And I've done promotion. I do SEO. I do my own SEO. I do my own website design. I do every single thing myself, damn near. I am an octopus. I'm a man with many arms and many gifts, many tasks. But Joe Rogan is right. I have not seen nobody that's put through the effort that I've put through to be a music promoter. That's why I've done promotion for the Baby's 21 record. That's why I've done promotion for Montel Jordan, Raheem Devon, Lenny Williams, Jeffrey Osborne, H-Town. You know, like there's just nobody else putting in the effort. Yes, you have some people that are just, you know, they're doing one thing that I do. They might work radio and pitch your joint to the DJs. But I work your joint. I can work radio, pitch it to the DJs, press release, blogs, SEO, TikTok influencers, Instagram influencers, whatever. I could Pandora playlists, Apple playlists, Napster playlists. If it's a form of marketing and promotions that has some form of value, I'm going to offer it and I'm going to do it. I'm a man of many hats, not just one hat, many hats. I wear many hats in this business. And that's the thing. Nobody else in Fayetteville wears as many hats as I do. There's some cats that wear a couple hats, like my friend Barry Williams. Yeah, he's a studio engineer. He can record your music and do your music video. But when it comes to TikTok influencers and things like that, he comes to a guy like me, you know? So, yes, that's the thing. Like, when two people go to apply to a job, if I already know somebody's going to put forth more effort at their job than the other person, I'm hiring that person every single time. I don't care what color they are. That's another thing people got to realize in job equality, that you got to be willing to work as hard or harder than the next man, or there is no job equality. You don't hire somebody just because the color of their skin, because if they're not going to take the job serious, then why would you hire them at all? Why would anybody hire somebody if they have a history of calling into work all the time sick? Why would anybody want to hire them? They're not going to take any job serious. There's no equality when you don't take the job serious. You're not going to work as hard as the next man, or even harder. You're going to call in to work more times with more excuses than the next man. There's no equality. I don't care what race you are. White people calling in to work all the time, black people, Hispanics, whatever. I don't care if you're green, blue, orange, yellow. Part of equality is you have to be willing to follow the same rules. And part of following the same rules is you have to take the job as serious as everyone else. You can't take the job less serious than anybody else and think you should get the job over somebody. It's not how it works. No owner is going to hire somebody if they automatically feel like you're not going to take this job serious. They don't have to hire nobody that's not going to take the job serious. I am self-employed. I would never hire anybody if I automatically feel like they're not going to take this job serious. I would tell them to get up, leave now. You wasted enough of my time. Because you're not going to waste my time in the hiring process. If you're going to waste my time in the hiring process, I sure as hell ain't going to let you waste my time by being hired. And you can tell people truly want the job sometimes. You know, presentation is part of it. How do you come in looking when you get the job? I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, if a guy comes in with his shirt tucked in, if a black guy comes in with his shirt tucked in, and a white dude comes in and no shirt tucked in, I'm going to hire the black guy over the white guy 10 times out of 10 just because he's got his shirt tucked in. Because guess what? That's part of going to get a job. There's a certain way you're supposed to present yourself when you go to get a job. And typically, you're supposed to have your shirt tucked in when you go to get a job. That's why you see people go, they wear a tie, a shirt and a tie. Because if you're wearing a shirt and a tie, you better have that motherfucker tucked in. If a guy comes in with a shirt and tie untucked, and this guy's got a shirt and tie tucked in, the guy with a shirt and tie tucked in is going to get the job in my business 10 times out of 10 over the guy with a shirt untucked. You know, another thing too is, like, for example, if a person comes in and wants to work fast food and they got long hair and this guy has short hair, I'm sorry, man. For a restaurant and fast food, you are more presentable with short hair. You wear long hair. I mean, we could call it discrimination or whatnot, but now you got to wear a hairnet because we got to prevent hair from getting in people's foods when you cook. I literally, that's the thing. Like, you almost can't put nobody, a person who has long hair is always going to get hair in a person's food way more. I've worked in the food industry. These things matter. These things matter. I can't put a guy with long hair in the kitchen without a hairnet. You can't. There's no restaurant doing it. Every time somebody got long hair, they got to wear a big old hairnet. So it's just easier for me to hire somebody that doesn't have to wear a hairnet, that doesn't want to have hair getting in the damn the customer spaghetti and whatnot. I mean, that's part of working the food industry, is not getting hair in people's food when you make their food. So if you come in and you got long hair, you're already not presentable for the kitchen, really. People will call it discrimination or whatnot, but you're not appropriate for a food industry job. I see it all the time when these guys with long hair in the kitchen always be the ones where the customers come back with, I got hair in my food because this motherfucker got too much hair to be working in the kitchen. Like when most women go to work, they always have their hair tied up in the back. When they're in the kitchen and stuff. I'm just saying, presentation is part of getting a job. How you look. If you don't present yourself a certain way, that's the thing. There's a lot of rules you got to follow by when quality a job. Are you going to work hard? Work as hard as everybody else, if not harder. And presentation, you're going to take this job serious. You got a history of calling in at other jobs, because if I can clearly look at and see a history of you calling in, hell no, you don't deserve a job over anybody. There's a lot of factors that go into hiring people, man. And if you've never owned a business in your entire life, you would not understand these kind of things. I'm not just going to hire anybody for my business. Because to be honest with you, if you don't take my business as serious, I take my business, I ain't hiring nobody. And I'm not convinced that any employee is going to take my business serious enough. Because you're just employees. You're not business owners. You don't understand what it is to own a business and to employ people and what kind of things you look for in employees. People think they're supposed to get hired just cuz. That's fairy tales. That's made up imaginary bullshit. You don't hire people just cuz. Maybe at first, when they have no history in the workplace. But once you start having a history in the workplace, we don't hire people just cuz. When we got history to go off of. When you done work 2 or 3 jobs and you clearly call in at every single job, you don't deserve a third of, you don't get no 4th or 5th chances. That's 3 strikes, you're out. You get whatever job you can get after that. That's another thing. Y'all take these jobs for granted in the workforce. How do I know? Because y'all bitch and complain about legal immigrants taking them. And they're only taking the jobs that you take for granted. They're going to work the jobs that Americans think are too hard for them to work. And that's another thing. If you think any job is too hard for you to work in the workforce, then guess what? You don't deserve job equality. Because you don't, once again, you got to be willing to work as hard as the next man, or if not harder. And if there's any one job you're just saying, oh, it's too hard for me to do, then you're not willing to work as hard as the next man. Or even harder. And guess what? People who hire people value hard work. They don't value laziness. Nobody hiring nobody values laziness. This idea that a person that's super lazy should have the same job equality as a person that works super hard is bullshit. It's bogus. It's made up fairy tales, imaginary horseshit. Nobody that's lazy should have the same job equality as a person who works super hard. Stop it. No, that's not even, they're not even equal. One's a lazy motherfucker. One is a super hard working dude. Or one's a lazy bitch and the other's a super hard working woman. Either way, the lazy bitch and the lazy motherfucker is not equal to the hardworking man and woman. It's not equal, not even close. There is no equality when you're fucking lazy and I work super hard. No! You don't even get to apply for the same job as me. You're too lazy. And that's the thing. People think equality is just cuz. No. We still, in order for there to be equality, you have to follow the same rules. Here's another example. If you're a person who works at every job and you steal in a job, you have no equality to an honest working person. There's no job equality. You're a dishonest, stealing scumbag. You don't even deserve a job because you'll steal at every single fucking job. I know people like that. They don't deserve any job over me or any honest person for that matter. I don't care what job it is. If I go to apply for a job and you steal at every job and I've never stolen at a job, which I never have, then guess what? You are not equal to me. You do not get equality. There's no equality here. You are not equal. You are a thief, a scumbag. I am honest. I think y'all have the wrong idea of what equal means, equality means. There's no dishonest scumbags equal to me. They're dishonest. I live an honest life. It's not equal. There is no lazy person on this planet equal to me. I work hard. I work 7 days a week, 365 days a week. Nobody that works 5 days a week is equal to me. You don't work hard enough to be equivalent to me. Y'all don't even understand what equivalent and equal means. It means the same. And a hardworking person is not the same as a lazy motherfucker. They're different. A person who steals at every single job is not equal to a person who is honest and doesn't steal at a job. They're different. There's no equal. Y'all got this shit wrong. And yes, nobody should not get hired because of the color of their skin. But that's not always the case. Some people that just not get hired because they have a history of calling it a work, or they have a history of they stole at work, or they got fired for stealing, or they got a history of being lazy. Because guess what? They could call your ex-employee and ask about you, and they go like, "Oh, he's lazy. He's lazy. I wouldn't hire him. I wouldn't hire him back. He's lazy." So, So Joe Rogan is totally right. There's a quality of effort problem in this country. And that goes back to what I was saying about people that steal on a job, or people honest on a job, or people that are lazy, and people that work hard, or people that call in all the time, and people that don't call in on time. If you call in more than 3 times a month, you're not equal to a person who doesn't call in at all. You're lazy. You just don't want to work. Nobody's sick as much as these people that call in sick all the time. Nobody's that sick. They just don't want to work. Or they come up with some excuses. I don't have a babysitter for my kid. My car broke down. They make up all these excuses. Nobody has that many excuses in society. And also, as a business owner, my employees can't call me with excuses. They better have solutions. Because you keep calling with excuses of why you can't make the work, you're going to need an excuse to find a new job, because I'm going to fire you after a few times. Because like I said, I work 7 days a week, 365 days a year. You don't get to call in 3 times in a month working for me and think you're going to keep a job. Oh, burn a road fire. Once again, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Hit that click now, subscribe button. If you're on YouTube, hit that like on. If you're on Facebook, hit that follow on Instagram TV. And hit that subscribe on Rumble as well, because we just started uploading. We got about 70 of the videos uploaded to Rumble. I got about 30-something more to upload to Rumble, and I'll be caught up with that. Don't forget the audio version goes to Apple, Spotify, Amazon, Deezer, TuneIn, Stitcher, Slacker, Player, FM, iHeartRadio, Podchaser, Podcast Addict, and much more. And the video version also, I'll take the pre-recorded version and I'll stream it on 3 of my Twitters, which is Paul P Podcast, Promo Palace LLC, and usually I'll pick a random Twitter because I own about 6 or 7 Twitter accounts as well. Don't forget, this podcast is sponsored by Promo Palace LLC at promopalace.biz. If you need online marketing promotions for your music, your product, your brand, or your service, please check out promopalace.biz. If you're a dog lover, cat lover, you like t-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts, please check out New Litter Apparel at newlitter.com. We also got dog tags and dog apparel, like dog bandanas as well. And for Shizzle, last but not least, I got to shout out Dizzle Brand, dizzlebrand.com. Just add ice, Dizzle and ice. Step into the future. Do your Dizzle. Once again, I want to thank you all for tuning in. Peace, and I'm out.